Hey all, and thanks for tuning in for another Paranormal Pit Stop. Tonight, we'll be exploring a historic house museum located off of East Don Julian Road out of the City of Industry in California that preserves both the homes and private El Campo Santo Cemetery, which once belonged to the pioneering family Workman-Temple. Rumored to harbor a range of chilling supernatural activity tied to its past. Are you prepared to brave the history and hauntings of the Workman-Temple Family Homestead Museum? Historically, following his arrival to the San Gabriel Valley in 1841, William Workman would purchase a portion of Rancho La Puente lands. By 1842, he had constructed an adobe house, and in 1845, 15-year-old Antonia Margarita Workman, daughter to William and Nicolasa Uriaste, would fall in love with and marry one Fisk Temple, joining the two families as one, while welcoming a total of 11 children into the world, 8 of which that survived into adulthood. The El Campo Santo Cemetery was officially established through the 1850s, and its earliest documented interment is marked as William Workman's brother David, who was buried in November of 1855. In 1867, Workman would be granted a U.S. title for his property, and in 1872, Temple would follow suit, preceding claims filed together earlier in 1852, and by the mid-1870s, both parties had significantly improved upon their beloved estates. Sadly, in 1876, the family's bank would fail, resulting in their lands being reduced to 75 acres. At the turn of the century, the expanse was left all but abandoned, and in subsequent years, their own personal brick chapel was destroyed in a fire. Shortly afterwards, Walter P. Temple, a grandson of the Workmans, would file a lawsuit preventing any further desecration of his family's burying grounds, and in 1917, he would go on to purchase the old yard and its surrounding 75 acres, on which he would begin restorations. In place of its traditional chapel, Walter would fashion a stone neoclassical mausoleum in which to hold his family's remains, and in 1921, he would reinter both Pio Pico, who is honored as the last acting governor of Alta California, and his wife Ignacia Alvarado de Pico, into the mausoleum from Cavalry Cemetery in Los Angeles. Through the 1920s, El Campo Santo would remain in use by the Temple family. From 1940 to 1981, it would serve the Brown family, and in more recent years, while burials have all but ceased, one final interment is expected on site, after which the old yard will officially be considered complete. Alongside various family members and the Picos, this aged graveyard holds a number of remains from pioneer families and other significant names from the region. The site's museum, which opened its doors on May 1st of 1981, is fully funded by the city, with its management resting in the hands of Historical Resources Incorporated, who offer guided touring options of the Workman Abode, La Casa Nueva, and of course, El Campo Santo, the latter of which is actually also open to visitors through self-guided tours as well. Rather classically, the whole of Workman and Temple Family Homestead Museum grounds are rumored to be haunted by generations of family members tied to its bounds, who all lived out full lives, met their fates, and were buried near. And both staff and visitors frequenting the area have reported strange orbs of light visible to the naked eye, half-formed silhouettes that appear later in photography, and encounters with a range of full-bodied apparitions in clothing spanning the ages. Several informal investigations of the expanse have yielded high EMF levels, extreme temperature fluctuations, chilling EVPs, and recordings of phantom knocking, while others have told of objects that move on their own, of doors that open and close by themselves, of lights that flick off spontaneously, leaving all present in darkness, and of encounters with ominous shadowy manifestations. At the cemetery, ghostly glowing lights have been observed flitting amongst markers, strange fogs have been known to descend upon the yard, and apparitions in old-fashioned attire are often sighted wandering in rows at night, only to quickly fade into the surrounding darkness. As mentioned prior, William's brother David died in 1855 in an accident while driving cattle up north to the gold fields, and following his untimely passing, it's rumored his soul returned home in search of his family. Many have reported encounters with a manifestation matching David's description, donning a perpetually confused look, some say due to the fact that he hadn't expected to die so early. Lastly, the banking house of Temple and Workman was very popular, but not exactly in the way the entrepreneurs wished it would be. Their lending policy was exceedingly lax, their operations poorly managed, and at the end of things, though the families were worth several $1,000,000 combined, most of their wealth was tied up in both mortgage and in floating others' crashed dreams. When the proverbial ceiling finally collapsed, an ailing workman would take his own life on May 17th of 1876 at 76 years in age. As legend has it, while William was unable to live with his failure, he was also incapable of leaving his family entirely, resulting in his soul's unrest. His spirit has been sighted throughout his old home, as well as across the property, seemingly keeping watch over his beloved creation and a close eye on visitors. Williams is said to be a friendly presence, and several staff members have described being near him and sensing a fatherly, protective feeling pouring from his old soul. Thanks for joining us on this Paranormal Pit Stop. If you enjoyed our histories and ghost stories, subscribe to our channel, like this upload, and share us with anyone you feel could use a good scare. We'll see you next time.